What's up, watchers of the Marvel Multiverse? Welcome back to the Marvelous Wave, and today we have some pretty awesome news concerning Marvel Phase 5, and what we can expect from one franchise in particular that fans have been anticipating for years now, that being the introduction of mutants and the X-Men into the MCU canon. We're of course getting reports that we'll see various X-Men and mutant characters from different timelines appearing in the Multiverse of Madness, as well as further down the line in the Multiversal Saga. However, the mainline MCU mutant story has yet to kick off, even though that there have been significant hints such as in Shang-Chi and other films, clearly establishing the beginnings of mutant kind in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Today though, we have a really big piece of news concerning what Marvel is doing behind the scenes and beginning the X-Men franchise in their universe. So let's go ahead and break it all down. First though, we're giving away another toy, that being the Iron Spider highly posable toy, as well as another Spider-Man highly posable toy. So if you're interested in winning either of these figures, basically all you have to do is like our video, subscribe with notifications on, and then follow the rest of the very simple rules in the description. Now let's get on with X-Men news. Several years ago, Marvel acquired the rights to Fox, meaning obviously now they can use characters such as the Fantastic Four, which will apparently cap off Phase 4 and a Fantastic Four being formally announced by Marvel, as well as of course the franchise that's slightly more anticipated than the Fantastic Four, that being the X-Men franchise, which has run over at Fox for over a decade now. Now though, Disney Marvel is going to get their hands on the characters and get their crack at a brand new story, introducing the X-Men into the mainline MCU that they too have been establishing for over a decade now. Today we got news that Marvel Studios is working behind the scenes to officially find a director for their first X-Men or mutant film set in the Marvel Universe, which we're also hearing rumblings will likely not actually be an X-Men based film, but rather Marvel is planning to start on a smaller scale and work their way up to the X-Men, similarly how they built their way up to the Avengers Initiative, starting with smaller independent stories before the big formal group is eventually formed by Charles Xavier, and before we get our first official first class of mutants and X-Men in the MCU. For those of you unfamiliar, finding a director to work on the story as well as writers is essentially the first step in developing a Marvel property or any film for that matter. For example, we got word about a year ago that Jon Watts, who also directed Spider-Man No Way, would be the director for the Fantastic Four reboot set in the MCU. So again, this is the first step, but it also gives us sort of a rough timeline of when we can expect the film to release. If we're going off the Jon Watts Fantastic Four timeline, we could see our first X-Men MCU entry or mutant MCU entry in the next 3 to 6 years, which really isn't that unreasonable at all considering the slate at this point in time is absolutely packed full of content. And Marvel isn't working on the mutant saga right now, which will likely be the next one, but again, they're focused solely on the multiverse as it stands currently, and they want to complete and finish this story before they move on to the mutant saga, which I think makes the most sense. We're expecting official announcement from Marvel any day now for a full director for the X-Men franchise, and the director will give us a good indication of where they want to take the franchise moving forward based on their previous film entries, giving us a pretty good idea of the tone that Marvel is looking for their first mutant film. Anyway, my friends, what are your guys' thoughts on this report and the fact that Marvel is approaching an announcement for a director for the first mutant film in the MCU? Who do you think would be a good choice of director, and what mutant character do you hope that they select first? We'll keep this video short as basically there's not a ton of information going around right now, but as soon as there is more, we will fill you guys in. As always, my friends, hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.